Hey, so I got a Black & Decker weed whacker here. The problem with this is when you push the button down to pull the trigger doesn't come in. It's like it's blocked by something. And when it does finally work its way in there, if you mess with it enough, it'll turn on. But it takes an awful lot to get that thing pushed in there like that. A lot of jostling it around. So we're going to tear this thing apart and see what's going on in here and find out why that trigger button won't go in. It looks like it's just catching on the switch. See if I can get this turned so you can see it. So there's nothing to this. Pull this down, this hits right here up against this part. If you don't pull it down, when you pull it down, it's supposed to go inside this little hole here like this. But when this is all together, you push this down, it's ready to go in the hole. But when you push this, it's actually hitting against the switch, the little tab there that makes the switch work. Looks like it's kind of loose. Must be from wearing out, unless I get this apart and something's cracked here. So if I take this, got a spring down here, want to make sure we catch that. Slide this off there. That's what that looks like. You can see right here this little orange piece that actually makes it run. So if I push it, it spins. The battery is, I think, actually wore out. I don't know if we're going to need to replace that. I'll put it on a charger after we look into this, and then see if we can get the charge to work on there. Tell us if we need a new battery or not. So this little spot right here, this edge right here, is what's hitting that little orange piece on the switch. What it's actually doing is just hitting right here, and it's really hard to get over this little bump right here. Now, why it started doing that, I have no idea. That just slides off the two little pins here. They don't seem to be broke. You can hear the motor wanting to go when I push this button in. So it seems like it's the switch is okay. It's just this part here is not being able to push this switch out of the way when it goes past it. I'm sure there's probably grooves or something in here that's making it catch on it from over the years. Actually, I do see a groove. I do see a groove right here. That is what's making it so it's hard to go over it, or hard to push that switch in. I'll put a zoomed in picture of this, what I'm seeing, so you can see it better. but it looks like we might have to just file this just a little bit to get that little groove out of there so it can just go right over this edge here. And then I think that'll work for this situation here. And of course we'll have to look at the battery. So I'm going to put this back in here. I don't see nothing wrong with this switch. That feels nice. Doesn't seem like there's anything wrong. It works. When I press the button, I can hear at the other end the motor trying to spin. But she said she charged the battery before I got it, and you can see that it's not turning, so the battery must be just old. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little file here. I got a little file here. Well, let me take a picture before I file it off. So my phone that I used to take a picture of this switch died on me, so I had to get a new phone. So I lost that picture. But you can see here, I kind of put this picture together to show you what I was looking at and what happened to the switch. The spot where the red is on the switch itself is what fell into a little groove that you can see in the plastic part. It's a little exaggerated here to kind of give you an idea of what I was going for, or what I seen. But what I did was I filed off that little groove that's in the black part, and now the switch doesn't catch on there anymore and it works fine. Alright, I got a picture, so now we'll just file this off a little bit. Ain't gonna get carried away with it. And that was enough, just that little bit. And if you don't know, if you haven't worked with files too often, I'll let you know that files only work in one direction. You go back and forth like this, pressing on your piece, all you're doing is wearing down the teeth that are on the file. Files only work in a push forward direction. And it doesn't take much, you know, and it'll take it off. In this case, the groove is already gone, and I'll take a picture of it. You've seen how many times I went past it. I was just doing the edge when I was going like this, just to round the edge off there a little bit, and I'll round that edge off on the top just a slight bit. So now we'll try it. Alright. Put our little spring back on here. Seems like it sticks pretty good. And then we'll slide this, well, guess not. We'll slide this over the little just like that. Alright, so now let's push this down. Ah, look at that. It pushes in real nice and easy now. You can see our battery must be wore down or bad. I'm pushing it in and it's not working. So there's just not enough juice in the battery. So, but that little bit of filing, that's all it took for now this to work every time. Push this one down. Push this one in, works every time. Alright, so I'm going to get this battery on a charger and see what it does, see if it's any good, and then once I get this back together, we'll give it a whirl and see if everything works. So I found out that this battery is bad, and I'll show you how I determine that, and of course I'll speed up the film so you ain't got to sit through the whole charging time. It only takes like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to charge anyway, but I'll still speed it up. So I just got a regular car charger because this is a 12-volt battery, and it's a it says you can set it on the AGM setting on the car charger, and we'll just give it 2 amps because the data sheet I think only says something about up to 2 amps or something like that. And then so we'll let this charge, and then we'll check it out afterwards, and I'll show you this meter that I have. This here is a blue ESR meter. I bought this from a company that I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but we'll check it with that and show you exactly that this battery's bad. Alright. So I'm going to set it on the AGM setting. It says there's 13.2 volts in there right now, and this says it's 100% charged already, but it's not, because I already wore this down running the weed whacker to run it completely out. So I'll set it on 2 and then we'll let it charge. So now it's charging. It's going to jump up to 17, and we'll let this go, and when it's done we'll check it. Alright, so it's fully charged. You can see that our green light come on over here, telling us that it's fully charged. So we'll kill the power to this. Get that out of the way. And if we take our meter, of course we're going to read. Let's see, put that here maybe. Yeah. I'm going to read 13.99 volts. Like I said, this is a 12-volt battery. If you wanted to take a look at that there. So that's why I use just a regular car battery charger. So this blue meter that I was talking about, this is from a company called Anatek. Let's see, it's A-N-A-T-E-K. So if you go to their website, and I can put the link down below if you want, but if you go to their website, you can find this, and you can find other products that are pretty good. This is actually for, it's an ESR meter, so it's for checking capacitors, but they say that you can use it to check batteries too. And you don't have to discharge the battery. Good example is what I'm going to do right now. I disconnect the battery to this because it's been a long time in between since I've used it, and it kind of wears the batteries down, so that's why I don't leave it in there. I don't want to have to keep buying 9-volt batteries. So we just turn this on the top, and then we short our 2 leads out here, and then we hit the reset, or hit the power button again, and it'll turn it to 0, and now we can measure our battery. And this information is from Anatek's website, their videos that they have. You touch this across here, and let's see, and it should be below 1 for a good battery, and you can see this is right at 1. So now I'll actually hook it up to the weed whacker and run this battery down, and it'll take about 30 seconds, and this battery will be completely drained. So this is telling me that this is a bad battery. So Let me just connect this up. And I'm just going to push this button to show you that this is spinning. I'm going to move the camera just to the other end so you can see that it is spinning and how long it spins. Alright, so we're ready. I put a piece of tape on here just so you can actually see it spinning. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. But I'm going to hold this power button down until the motor stops running, which is, like I said, about 30 seconds. And that's definitely a good indicator that the battery's bad. So here we go. Not quite even 30 seconds this time, but that goes to show you that battery's dead. So now we'll take this blue ESR meter and we'll test this battery again and see what it reads when it's dead. And it shouldn't be over the 1. It should actually be under 1. So let me change this camera back and then we'll take a look at that. Alright. First I'm just going to take my meter and put across there, show you what I have there. Still reads voltage. Under load it reads different, of course, but that's what we have. So now let me disconnect this. Turn on our meter again. See if I can get this to stay here again. Short out the leads again. Press the button to reset it to 0. And now we'll touch the battery again. 5 point something. So that's a bad battery. Anatech believes that's a valid way of testing batteries, and it seems like it works in this case. So there you go. So I already talked to the customer of this, and I'm waiting for the reply to see if she wants me to get a new battery for it. I'm happy our trigger works again. So we'll wait for her, and then I'll complete this video by putting it all back together with the hopefully with the new battery. Okay, so we got the new battery. It's from Chrome Battery, I guess. It's a replacement for the one that was in there. I couldn't find a 3.6 amp hour, so I got the closest thing, which is a 3.5. I couldn't find anywhere on Amazon or anything that they sold a 3.6. So, but it's a 12 volt. It says it replaces the other one that was in there, so we're good to go with this one. I just took it out of the package. I just want to do some checks on it before we charge it or do anything. So just to show that we got something going on here. We got 12.71 volts. So it's got something in there, it seems like. Let's take our capacitor checker here that we used before and see what kind of a number we get on it. If I remember correctly, the other one was 5 point something. Now this is straight out of the box. I haven't charged it or anything yet. So we'll see what it does now, and then we'll charge it, see what it does then, and then we'll run this battery down. We'll go out and weed whack some stuff and run the battery down until it needs to be charged again, and measure it with this first and see what we get, just to see the difference in how this reacts on the battery. Alright, so I zero those out. Let's see what this thing says. .04. So that seems pretty good so far, being a new battery, and our other one was 5 point something, and that was a bad battery. So let's charge this thing up, see how far it has to go before it's fully charged. I know batteries usually come partially charged. I got these little things I just slid off here. This is a 12 volt battery, my 12 volt car charger here, car battery charger. I'm just going to set it on 2 amps. We're not going to get crazy. I think the power supply to charge this is only a 1 point something amp, but this should work for what we're doing. Well, this reads that we got 12.7. Hit this button here and it'll say it's 95% charged. So I got this on a standard battery. It says standard, AGM, or gel cell. So we can go AGM or standard. We're just going to go standard. And then we got 2 amps, 8 amps, and 12 amps. In the middle here, we're only going to go to 2, and then we'll see how quickly it charges. It says it's charging, it's connected, and then it's charging. Wait till this gets to 100%. It'll tell us that it's charged over here on this last spot, and then we'll take our capacitor meter and check it again. So I don't know how long this is going to take. I'll just let this video run, but I'll speed it up so you don't have to sit through the whole thing. Alright, it says it's 100%. Our charged light is on. So we're good to go on that. Didn't take long, about just a little over 10 minutes to do that. It went awful quick the last second there, so I don't know what was up with that, but it says we're charged. Unplug that. Take these off. Now I'll stick this in, put the weed eater all together. Oh, let me back up. We were going to test this now and see what it shows with it fully charged. Getting ahead of myself there. Sort this out. Reset. Let's see what this reads on here. 0. Fully charged, it reads 0 on there. Alright. Keeping track of all that? I'm not writing it down, so are you? Alright, so that looks good so far. Battery reads good on our capacitor tester, our Anatech capacitor tester. I haven't done a video on this or anything, but this is what it is, and it's a pretty decent device. I've used it quite a few times so far. So now I'll put this in, use it until it wears the battery all the way down to the point to where it needs to be charged again, and then we'll test it. So until then. Let's give it a little whirl here real quick. Oh yeah. All kinds of power there, it sounds like. Time to take it out and give it a ride. Alright, so we're back. I used the weed eater. Ran the battery down to where it was just pushing the grass around and not even cutting it. So I'm going to take it out of here and see what it measures. let's give it a voltage measurement first, just to see what shits and giggles. .56, you know, that's just no load on it, so it's going to be up there a little bit. Now let's see what our capacitor reader has to say about this. This is a good battery. It's supposedly wore down to where it needs to be charged. Let's see what the measurement is on this here. .09, so that's actually pretty good. According to Anatech, that says that that's a good battery. Because remember, the bad battery was 5 point something, I believe it was, so that's good. Alright, so I'm going to charge this up and give it one quick voltage check again after we're done, and then put this thing together and give it back to the customer. I got about 15-20 minutes out of the charge running it, so I guess that's not bad. That's probably normal for this. It says charge it for 24 hours with the original battery charger for it, but you can see that I didn't charge it that long. I charged it till this thing said it was good. It says it's got 11.6 volts in it. Let's see what the percentage is. It says it's down to 10%, so that's pretty wore out. Alright, so again, we're just going to put it on the 2, and I'm going to let this charge. I'm not going to run the video. I'm just going to cut the video off, and then I'll come back for a second after we're done, do one final check, and then we'll wrap this up. Alright, fully charged again. 100% charged. It's at 13.5 volts. Let's see what my meter reads. Should read pretty close to the same thing. 13.47. It's good. Let's see what our capacitor reads. Capacitor tester reads. Should read 0 like it did last time. Completely full charge. Or close to it, I guess. That's still pretty good. Alright. So that's that. I'm going to put this back together, and I'm going to give it back to the owner, and we'll call this one a done deal. That took about an hour and 40 minutes to charge that battery up from that 10% charge. And that's with a car charger, the plug-in-the-wall charger. Not sure how long that will take. I read in the manual for this thing that the charger puts out 2 amps, just like this was. But that's it. All right. See you on the next one.